Starship drifted in the shadow of a dead planet, silent and broken. Its hull was scarred and rusted, panels hanging loose like torn skin. No lights blinked. No engines thrummed. Only the faint hum of long-dormant machinery whispered through the empty corridors. Every alien species that had passed it in the past 100 years had ignored it, labeled it worthless. Some called it a relic of a war nobody cared about anymore. Others said it was cursed, a ghost ship that brought misfortune to those who boarded it. Even the salvage crews from the largest interstellar corporations avoided it, all except the humans. Commander Elias Verk was different. While other species saw decay, he saw potential. While they saw a rusting husk, he saw a skeleton ready to be reforged. Humans were known across the galaxy for their ingenuity and stubbornness. They could fix things no one else could. They could turn the impossible into the achievable. And Elias carried that spirit in every careful step he took across the docking platform, his boots echoing against metal. "Are you sure about this, Commander?" asked Lieutenant Mara Thane, Elias' second-in-command. She was human too, but more cautious than him. Her eyes scanned the derelict ship, taking in the twisted antennas and torn plating. Elias didn't answer at first. He was already imagining the ship alive again, moving through space, engines humming, weapons ready. A vision of its old glory mixed with something entirely new, something only a human mind could see. "This ship has potential," he said finally, voice steady. "Others see scrap. We see possibility. That is what makes us human, Mara," she sighed. "Humans always thought differently. Sometimes it was brilliant, sometimes reckless. She hoped this time it would be brilliant." The docking clamps hissed open and the two of them stepped inside. Darkness swallowed them. The air was stale, a mixture of rust and old electronics. Panels that should have been alive were cold. Systems that should have hummed were dead. Every step felt like walking through a tomb. "Environmental readings?" Elias asked, pulling out a handheld scanner. "Air is breathable but low in oxygen. Structural integrity is questionable. We should move carefully," Mara replied. Elias nodded. Careful was important, but humans were nothing if not persistent. They moved down the main corridor, lights flickering to life under their touch. The ship seemed to groan as if waking from a long sleep. Then they found it, the control room. It was covered in dust, wires hanging from broken consoles. Screens flickered weakly, showing fragments of star maps and unreadable alien scripts. In the center was the main console, dormant but intact. Elias knelt, brushing off decades of dirt and rust. "Some systems are offline," he muttered, "but the core, it's still here, alive in a way." Mara frowned. "Alive, it looks dead." "Not to us," Elias said. "Humans can see life in machines where others see only scrap. We understand patterns. We see what can be, not just what is." Hours passed as they explored the ship. In one section, they found an old AI core, cracked but repairable. In another, weapons systems that had not fired in 100 years. Hidden corridors led to storage rooms full of parts from alien fleets, abandoned and forgotten. Everything on this ship was useless to anyone else, but to Elias it was treasure. Suddenly, the silence broke. A flicker of movement appeared on the scanner. "Someone's here," Mara whispered, tension in her voice. Elias' eyes narrowed. "Probably another salvage crew. They'll see scrap and think of money. We see opportunity." The aliens didn't hesitate. They boarded, thinking they could claim the ship for themselves. But humans were clever. Elias had anticipated them. As the intruders moved through the corridors, he activated hidden traps, non-lethal but enough to block and delay them. Doors slammed shut. Security drones, half-dormant, flickered to life. The aliens cursed and tried to force their way in, but the human crew moved faster, thinking ahead. By the time the aliens realized the humans were serious, Elias and Mara had reached the central chamber. There, Elias connected the AI core to a portable power unit, the lights of the control room flaring as the old system struggled to awaken. "You think it's ready?" Mara asked, watching the core pulse weakly. Elias smiled. It's sleeping, but it's alive. And when it wakes, it will do things no one else imagined. The AI blinked. Symbols appeared on the screen, alien language twisting into understandable commands. The ship hummed, a low vibration that resonated through the hull. Elia's eyes glimmered with excitement. This ship, he said softly, was designed for war, but with human innovation it can be more than that. Faster, smarter, stronger. A weapon, yes, but precise. A tool for survival and strategy. Mara shook her head, half in disbelief, half in admiration. You really think we can do this? Elias stood, placing a hand on the AI console. Not think, we will do this. Humans never wait for permission. We make the impossible real. Outside, the stars of the dead planet glimmered coldly. The galaxy had forgotten this ship. Every alien species had abandoned it, but a human had seen what others could not. And for the first time in 100 years, the old starship hummed with life. Days passed as Elias and his crew worked. They repaired life support, rerouted power, and patched hull breaches. Every challenge revealed something new. A hidden weapon system, a storage of rare materials, a forgotten warp drive. Each discovery fueled their determination. Other salvage teams tried again, but humans were unpredictable. They rigged the ship with traps, and when the aliens tried to board, drones and automated systems held them off. The humans moved with a combination of bravery and cunning, turning every setback into a new advantage. Then came the biggest surprise. Deep in the engine room, Elias found a hidden compartment. Inside was the ship's original blueprint, a design far ahead of its time. It revealed something extraordinary. The ship could be modified into a precision weapon capable of targeting enemy fleets with surgical accuracy. Elia's heart raced. Mara, this is more than I thought. With this, we can do what no fleet has done before. We can turn scrap into strategy, rust into power. Mara looked at him, a mixture of fear and awe. It's incredible, but also dangerous. Elias smiled. All great things are. The final night of Part 1 came. Elias stood on the deck looking out at the silent void. The ship groaned, alive now, sensing the humans' presence. A promise lingered in the air. What no one else wanted, humans could claim. What no one else could see, humans could make real. And deep in the shadows of the galaxy, other eyes were watching. Aliens who had thought themselves clever, who had ignored the rotting starship, would soon realize they had underestimated humanity. Elias clenched his fists. Tomorrow, he whispered, we begin the reforging. The ship waited. The galaxy would never be the same. The starship was no longer dead. Its engines hummed with tentative energy, lights flickered steadily along the corridors, and the old AI core pulsed like a heart slowly waking. But it was still fragile, a skeleton of metal and wires, waiting for the right mind to breathe life into it. That mind belonged to Elias Verk. Status report, Elias called, striding through the central corridor. Sparks flew from patched-up conduits, and smoke drifted from a recently repaired power junction. The ship groaned with every step, as if testing its new muscles. Lieutenant Mara Thane adjusted her scanner. Life support stable, but the oxygen recycling is barely functioning. Weapons offline. Propulsion is inconsistent. Hull integrity is improving, but some sections are still at critical levels. Elias nodded, scanning the ship with his keen eyes. Then we start with the core systems. Power, propulsion, and navigation. Everything else follows. Humans don't wait for perfect conditions. We make them perfect. Mara smiled despite herself. Humans were always confident, sometimes recklessly so. But that confidence, combined with creativity, often made the impossible possible. The first challenge was the engines. The original drives had been designed for speeds far slower than modern fleets, and decades of neglect had left them corroded and brittle. Every part Elias touched seemed ready to crumble, yet he worked with patience and ingenuity. Alien alloys that no human had studied were slowly understood. Broken conduits became new pathways, and sparks from improvised energy cells lit the engine room like a sunrise. "This will work," Elias said finally, wiping sweat from his brow. "It won't be fast like a new ship, but it will be smarter, faster in ways no alien fleet expects." "Faster in ways no alien fleet expects," Mara repeated, raising an eyebrow. "Humans think differently," Elias said, a grin spreading across his face. "We improvise. We see angles others ignore. Machines obey patterns, and humans create patterns they can't predict. That is our edge." Next came the weapons. The Starship's arsenal was mostly dormant, alien technology designed to annihilate fleets centuries ago. Most species had no idea how to use it, but Elias had an idea. He worked day and night, rewiring weapon systems, integrating old AI protocols with human calculations. Each pulse cannon, each missile tube, each targeting array was tested, adjusted, and tested again. When one system failed, he didn't give up. He used the failure to invent a new method, something no alien engineer could have predicted. During these long nights, Mara observed Elias quietly. The man was tireless, meticulous, and strangely joyful in the chaos. Human minds were capable of creating solutions where logic alone failed. While aliens often abandoned machines that didn't function perfectly, humans adapted them, reshaped them, and made them superior. "You really think this ship can fight a fleet?" Mara asked one night as they patched up the last of the secondary weapons. Elias looked out of a shattered viewport at the black void of space. "I don't think. I know. Humans are underestimated. They rely too much on rules. We rely on imagination. This ship, it's not just a weapon. It's a statement." The statement became clear when alien scouts appeared in the nearby system. Word had spread quickly. Rumors of the abandoned ship's revival reached ears eager to claim it for themselves. A small fleet of alien warships approached, scanning for any sign of activity. They expected an easy prize. Elias didn't panic. "Prepare the ship," he said. "And remember, humans fight differently. They think differently. That is our advantage." When the aliens arrived, the Starship was barely half repaired. Its hull still showed signs of rust, its engines flickered, and most of the weapon systems had been jury-rigged. To any other species, it would look weak, an easy target. But Elias and his crew had learned a secret. Perception could be as powerful as power. The first engagement was simple yet brilliant. As the alien scouts approached, Elias activated the modified propulsion system. The ship moved unpredictably, faster in sudden bursts, weaving between asteroids and debris fields. The scouts, expecting straight-line travel, miscalculated every maneuver. Then came the weapons. The pulse cannons fired not with raw power but with precision, striking critical systems on the alien ships. Missiles launched from hidden compartments, timed to hit weak points. Every attack was calculated with human ingenuity, using patterns the aliens could not anticipate. By the time the scouts realized the ship's true capability, it was already too late. Mara watched in awe. "It's incredible, like the ship is thinking." Elias shook his head, smiling. "No, we are thinking. Humans made this ship. Humans fight through it. And humans win in ways no one expects." With each day, the Starship grew stronger. Elias discovered hidden compartments containing alien fuel reserves, rare alloys, and experimental technologies. He integrated these into the ship, creating enhancements that no one had thought possible. Hull plates that were once fragile became reinforced with alien alloys. Energy systems once inefficient became more powerful than any standard fleet. The crew, a mix of humans and a few sympathetic aliens, adapted to the ship's quirks. Humans thrived in chaos, thinking quickly, improvising solutions. The aliens learned to follow, watching as humans turned every weakness into strength. The ship became a living example of human ingenuity. Old technology made new, rust made deadly. But not all challenges were mechanical. Rival salvagers attempted to board the ship, using speed and brute force. Elias had anticipated this. The ship's corridors were rigged with automated defenses, holographic decoys, and traps designed not to kill but to disable. Every alien boarding attempt failed, often leaving their crews humiliated. During one particularly tense encounter, Mara whispered, "Commander, they are persistent. Do you think they'll stop?" Elias smiled. "No, but persistence isn't enough against humans. They plan, adapt, and improvise. That is what makes us different. That is what will make this ship unstoppable." The final breakthrough came when Elias accessed the ship's original blueprint hidden deep in the AI core. It revealed the Starship's true potential, a weapon capable of precise strikes across vast distances, capable of disabling fleets without massive destruction. In human hands, it could become a superweapon, not of sheer force, but of precision, strategy, and cunning. "Humans always find a way," Elias muttered, studying the blueprint. "Others build weapons to destroy everything. We build weapons to change the game." Mara studied him closely. "And you think we can finish this before they attack again?" Elia's eyes gleamed with determination. "We don't finish before, we finish during. Humans thrive under pressure. That is our advantage." The days that followed were a blur of activity. Systems were upgraded, the AI core synchronized with human calculations, and the ship became a fusion of old alien technology and human innovation. Hull plating, weapon systems, propulsion engines, everything was reforged, repurposed, and improved. Finally, the ship was ready. It hummed like a living thing, energy coursing through circuits and conduits. The pulse of power was steady, controlled, precise. The derelict starship, once abandoned and forgotten, had been transformed into a symbol of human ingenuity, a weapon that could outthink, outmaneuver, and outfight any fleet. Elias stood on the command deck, looking at the stars. The galaxy was vast, full of threats, but human minds had proven themselves capable. Even in the coldest, darkest corners, humans could create life from death, hope from despair, and power from rust. Mara joined him, watching the sensors. "They'll be back. And they'll bring more ships." Elias nodded. "Good, let them. They'll see what humans can do. They'll see that a forgotten, rotting ship, when in the hands of a human, becomes more than they can imagine." Outside, the stars stretched endlessly, silent witnesses to human ingenuity. Inside, the starship thrummed with life, ready for the challenges to come. What no one else wanted, humans had taken. What no one else could imagine, humans had made real. And in the shadows of space, across systems and star lanes, other eyes were watching. The whispers of a revived ship, one that fought differently, moved unpredictably and struck precisely, spread like wildfire. Aliens who had ignored it before now feared it, not for its size, not for its firepower, but for the humans who controlled it. Elia's voice broke the silence. "Tomorrow we test it fully. Tomorrow the galaxy learns that humans do not follow the rules. Humans rewrite them." The starship hummed. It was no longer abandoned. It was alive. And it would soon show the universe what humans were capable of. The void of space stretched endlessly, dotted with distant stars and the faint shimmer of a dying planet below. Elias Verk stood on the bridge of the reforged starship, the hum of revived engines vibrating through the floor beneath him. Every panel, every light, every pulse of energy reflected months of human ingenuity. The ship was no longer just a relic, it was a weapon of precision, a masterpiece of strategy, and a testament to human determination. "Commander," Mara said, pointing to the sensor readouts, "they're here. The alien fleet, larger than we anticipated. 10-1. Elias didn't flinch. Numbers don't decide battles, strategy does. And humans write the rules as they fight. The alien fleet emerged from a nebula, massive and imposing. Sleek warships bristled with weapons and sensors, their engines glowing bright against the darkness. Their commander, a high-ranking warlord named Zarnak, sneered at the sight of the derelict ship floating in the void. Pitiful, Zarnak growled. A rusted hulk against my fleet, we take it in minutes. He did not know humans. He did not know Elias. Elias activated the ship systems fully. Lights flared, energy conduits pulsed, and the AI core, synced with human calculations, began analyzing the alien formations in real time. Every movement of the fleet, every potential attack, was anticipated and countered. Prepare evasive maneuvers, Elias said. We don't meet them head-on. We use what they do not expect. The starship surged forward. Its engines, patched with alien alloys and human ingenuity, allowed sudden bursts of speed. It twisted and darted unpredictably between asteroids, using the environment as both shield and weapon. Alien sensors scanned for conventional movement patterns, but humans did not move conventionally. The first strike came from the pulse cannons. Unlike the alien fleet, which relied on sheer power, Elias had upgraded the ship to use precision energy pulses. The cannons fired in rapid sequences, striking the engines of the lead warships, disabling them without destroying the hulls. Ships spun out of control, collisions causing chaos in the enemy formation. Impressive, Mara whispered, eyes wide. They can't predict us. Humans thrive in unpredictability, Elias said. This is why we survive where others fail. Next came the missiles. Hidden compartments in the ship's hull released drones and guided explosives. They moved with silent speed, guided by the AI and human tactics. Each strike targeted weak points, the results devastating but precise. No collateral damage to the planets or star systems nearby, just perfect disruption of enemy strategy. Zarnak barked orders. Converge, surround it, fire everything. The alien fleet responded with overwhelming force, beams of energy cutting through space, missiles streaking toward the starship. But Elias anticipated every move. He had studied alien tactics, learned their patterns, and exploited them. The ship twisted, dodged, and struck again with calculated efficiency. One warship, larger than the others, fired a concentrated energy beam. It was a test, a strike meant to see how far the derelict ship could go. The starship's hull shuddered, sparks flew, panels bent. Yet Elias remained calm. Activate the overdrive sequence, he ordered. Energy rerouted through hidden conduits, engines surged with unexpected bursts of speed. The ship spun through space, dodging the beam, while automated countermeasures unleashed a cascade of disabling pulses. The alien warship faltered, systems failing, and drifted helplessly. Every move we make they can't follow, Mara said, a hint of awe in her voice. No, Elias replied. Humans write the rules mid-battle, and we adapt faster than anyone. The battle intensified. Aliens attempted to flank them, sending squadrons to attack from unexpected angles, but Elias had thought of everything. He used asteroids as cover, gravitational fields to accelerate movement, and decoy holograms to confuse targeting systems. Every action was a lesson in human ingenuity, every reaction a display of adaptability. Aboard the bridge, the crew worked in seamless harmony. Humans and allied aliens, all following Elias' commands, operated with creativity and instinct. Each adjustment, each improvisation, turned potential disaster into opportunity. The derelict ship, once abandoned, now moved like a living being, thinking faster than its enemies, striking where they were weakest. Then came the turning point. Elias had identified the command vessel of the fleet, the one from which all orders flowed. It was heavily shielded, far stronger than the others. Destroying it directly would be suicidal, but humans never fought head-on. Prepare the core sequence, Elias said. We're going to do this differently. He accessed the ship's hidden AI protocols and redirected power to the central targeting system. It was a gamble, dangerous but brilliant. The ship's energy pulse cannons synchronized with the AI and human calculations, creating a focused strike capable of disabling the command vessel's shields and engines simultaneously. Firing in 3, 2, 1. Elias counted down. A beam of pure, controlled energy streaked across space. It struck the command vessel precisely, penetrating its shields, shutting down its engines and scrambling its systems. The alien fleet commander roared in disbelief. Without guidance, the fleet's formation collapsed, ships colliding or drifting helplessly. Panic spread like wildfire. Humans, Zarnek hissed, realization dawning. How? Ingenuity, Elias replied softly. We fight differently, we survive differently, we win differently. The remaining alien ships, seeing the precision and unpredictability of the Starship, began retreating. They had underestimated humans for centuries. They had dismissed a rusted, abandoned starship. And now they had learned a lesson they would not forget. Humans could turn anything, old metal, broken machines, abandoned relics, into tools of unmatched power. Elias allowed the ship to follow the retreating fleet, watching as panic spread through enemy lines. He felt a deep satisfaction not in destruction but in proof. Humans had achieved the impossible once again. Mara approached him on the bridge. They'll come back. They'll send larger fleets. What then? Elias smiled, eyes shining. Then we do it again. Humans never stop. Every challenge, every impossible situation is an opportunity. This ship, this is only the beginning. The Starship, once unwanted and abandoned, had become a symbol of human ingenuity, creativity, and determination. Across the galaxy, whispers spread of a single human ship that fought with unmatched precision, using intelligence, creativity, and courage over brute force. In the days that followed, Elias and his crew repaired the battle damage, upgraded the systems further, and trained for future encounters. Each human innovation made the ship faster, stronger, smarter. Every alien fleet that heard rumors of the ship's success began to fear humans, not because of their technology, but because of their unpredictability, their creativity, and their audacity. From the command deck, Elias looked at the stars, thinking of the future. There were countless abandoned ships scattered across the galaxy, forgotten relics of wars long past. He smiled, imagining what humans could do with them. We've shown them what humans can do, he said to Mara, but the galaxy has only seen a glimpse. One day, every abandoned starship, every derelict, every overlooked machine, humans will turn them into tools of survival and strategy. We are capable of more than they ever imagine. Mara looked at him, pride in her eyes. You really believe that? I know it, Elias said. We are humans. We survive, we create, we innovate. We see potential where others see decay, and we never stop. Outside, the reforged Starship glided through space, its hull gleaming with repaired metal and alien alloys, engines humming steadily. A ship that had once been unwanted, rotting, and forgotten now carried the pride and ingenuity of humanity. It was more than a weapon. It was a statement. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, Elias whispered to the void, a promise carried on the cold winds of space. The galaxy will remember humanity, not for the ships we build, but for the minds that build them. And no one will ever underestimate us again. The Starship pulsed with life, engines steady, systems ready. It was a human creation, and humans never stopped at what others called impossible. The superweapon had ascended, and humanity's legend had only just begun.